How I quit smoking, and with a tool that I used to quit smoking because I needed a nicotine supplement, was I used these right here. These right here, nicotine pouches. This is why I went with nicotine pouches, because I smoked pretty much majority of my life. I smoked two and a half packs of cigarettes a day. That's a lot of cigarettes I smoked. A lot of money I smoked. I needed something to help supplement the nicotine because I could not quit cold turkey. I wasn't strong enough to quit cold turkey. I tried a few different times and I would make it a couple of hours. I tried the gum, tried patches before, did not want to try Chantix. I was very afraid of it just because of my mental challenges that I struggle with. And I tried vaping before even. This was something I had never really even thought about or heard about, were the nicotine pouches. And this is the route that I went with. This is what these are like and how they help me. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. My name is Eric. I'm diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, MDD, level 1 autism, lost a wife and father to suicide. I attempted suicide. I'm a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict. And I like to share what I've been through, maybe to help somebody along the journey or help feel a little bit less alone. Quitting smoking was one of the hardest things that I'd ever done, and I needed to quit with a supplement. And so the supplement that I went with were these. These are nicotine pouches. Now, there's a lot of different nicotine pouches out there. I didn't really care about the brand. I cared about that I had something that was nicotine based because I needed a supplement for the nicotine. I mean, when you're quitting smoking, you can do the gum, you can do the patch, you can do hypnosis. I mean, there's so many different routes that you can try, and I tried a lot of them and I failed at them. I could not do cold turkey. It made my anxiety go through the roof, wanted to pull my skin off. I just became a mean human being. I tried vaping, but because vaping is very similar to the act of smoking, it was one of those that I just ended up smoking again. I needed something that was a completely different habit than putting something to my lips and smoking with. So I ended up trying the pouches. Why I tried these nicotine pouches was because this would create and form a different habit. I needed to almost replace a habit with a habit because I didn't realize how hard it was to break habit when you were smoking. So when I went to these, I wanted something I never chewed before. So I was like, you know what, let me try these. So I ended up going the pouches route. Now there's no tobacco in these pouches. It's only nicotine salts. And so when you're reading it, the only side effect that they're saying is nicotine is an addictive chemical. Yes, it is an addictive chemical. With the pouches though, this had all habits that were so different than smoking. And this is what the pouches look like. They're little clear white little pouches, and it's inside. You take these pouch, I just stick it in my lip, and it calms that urge of wanting a cigarette, of wanting to smoke, of wanting nicotine. This is why I went with this route, is because it helped me start to create something where I needed to do something with my body. That's why the gum kind of worked a little bit. I did one time quit off of gum for a couple months, actually did. Patches at the same time. I needed to kind of have something to have that same kind of act as almost like smoking. Well, putting the pouch in my mouth kind of helped calm that act, that habit. And it created a new habit. It's one that I'm also not really afraid of, because how many habits out there are like this? Well, I can switch this with gum, with anything. All I need to do is kind of stick something in my lip. And you know what? I'm going to have that same habit, that same feeling. So one of the big things is I got to make sure that I taper off of it. Now, the cool thing with the pouches is it's only nicotine. So when I went to the hospital, I had to get surgery done. They asked me, are you smoker, tobacco, smokeless tobacco? They have all those questions. Do you vape? They even ask. And because they asked me if I vape, I'm like, well, I don't vape. I don't smoke any of that, but I use these pouches. And they're like, okay, well, that doesn't count. And I was like, what? That was kind of a cool feeling. That actually helped boost my ego. The nice thing about these, though, is I get my nicotine kind of fix off of them. I spit them out afterwards. There's a little even container in the containers that they come in that you can put your little pouches in so you're not spitting them all over the ground. They're small, fits in my pocket. This is what helped me tremendously. The only side effects that I ever found from these is, one, if you use them too much, they do tear up the inside of your lip a little bit. Like they tear up because it's almost like a fabric kind of feel to it, that they can tear up the inside of your lip. The other side effect that I noticed from them is if you take too much of it, they can give you the hiccups. Those were the only two side effects that I got from them. Now, I know that people have also told me that they've gotten really upset stomachs from it. It gave them heartburn. So there are some side effects to these, but none of them are massive side effects. The only two that I really experienced is I experienced the hiccups, and I experienced that if I use them just way too much, too often, too many of them, that they're going to tear up the inside of my mouth a little bit. Luckily, my mouth heals, and it doesn't feel like chewing tobacco, because I've done chewing tobacco before where that's a different kind of like tearing up your inner lip. This, it's kind of like you stuck something there and it shouldn't have been there. I also make sure that I drink a lot of water and stuff because I do care about my teeth and my mouth and my breath. So there are a few little side effects, but you know what? I'd rather have those side effects from this, not smoke, not smell, not be ruining, destroying my lungs. It's a challenge, it's a journey, but this is what I use to end up quitting smoking. And you know what? I'm grateful for them. I got to taper off of them. They have different milligram levels. I'm on 8, they do 6, they do 4, depends on the brands. It can go up even higher, it can go down even lower. So this worked for me, and it's about finding what works for you. I'm not saying go out if you want to quit smoking, this is the answer to it, but it's what helped me. And anybody who's out there struggling, man, I feel for you, because quitting tobacco, quitting smoking was one of the hardest things I did. I mean, quitting cocaine and alcohol was difficult. This was a whole new beast. I'd love to hear your guys' comments. I'd love to hear your opinion. Hit the link down below. Hit that likes button. Comment below. Tell me how you helped quit smoking. Because let's face it, there's a lot of us out there who want to quit smoking. And you know what? Maybe somebody will find some inspiration with this to give it another shot, to give it another try. And that's what it's all about. So hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. Love to have you along for the journey.